Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we have something very interesting for you guys. This is a really cool matchup, so I really wanted to feature match it. So today we have Maticus up at the top, and he is on Zoodiac, and down at the bottom we have Godlamation or Mr. Mantheon. I'm not sure which username he wants to go by, and he is on Rikka. So this is a very interesting thing. If you're not familiar with Rikka, it is a archetype that is plant-based. It came out in Secret Slayers alongside Eldritch and Emancipator, and unfortunately it just got, pretty much pushed to the wayside because those other decks were extremely powerful and Rikka was just kind of okay, and so it didn't get a lot of attention. But I think it is a really interesting deck, and it's full of really nice little art. They have really good art, is what I'm just trying to say. My fiance actually really enjoys the art, so I think this is something that she'll really enjoy watching. But anyways, with all of that said, this is a non-meta tournament. If you are familiar with that, this is a tournament following its own ban list. So you can go ahead and view the ban list in a previous video. I believe it's in the sign-up video. If you're interested in that, and if you're interested in playing, you can go ahead and join the link in the description below, and there will be a tournament hopefully sometime at the beginning of August. Hopefully that will be the next one. So looks like he ends up winning the rock, paper, scissors, and he's going to be opting to go first. So in his opening hand, we have a Gamma, Mudan, Rikka Glamour, and Lone Fire Blossom, and an Impermanence. So it looks like two hand traps, and this Lone Fire Blossom is actually pretty good here. Unfortunately, Ash is not in this game. So the Gamma is not going to do as much as you think in this matchup. I think the Gamma probably could have been something better, but I mean, it still is a really good card for going second. So he's going to use the Lone Fire Blossom and tribute another one, and tribute into Evil Thorn, which he also tributes to inflict 300 damage, and special summon two Evil Thorn tokens to the field, and their effects cannot be activated. So Rikka Glamour is activated here. So all the Rikka cards, I think all of them, I'm actually not too sure, have an effect where you can activate them. You activate them and then you get an effect. So in this case, you activate it and then you get a Rikka monster from your deck to your hand, and then you can also tribute a plant monster, and then if you get the plant monster, then you can add a plant monster with the same level as a Rikka monster, with the same original level as that Rikka monster, but a different name. So you get a secondary buff effect if you tribute a plant monster, is essentially what I'm trying to say. So the first, he's going to tribute the monster as well, and so Evil Thorn doesn't trigger when it gets tribute or whatever, so they gain the life points back. But anyways, he searches for Snowdrop and then Hellborn because they're both level 8 and they're different names, so that's why he can do that. He gets a second search obviously from the Evil Thorn. So then he's going to use Snowdrop, and it can tribute a plant monster on the field, and then it special summons itself and another plant monster from your hand, but you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except for plants. So he's going to be going ahead and using it to get into Mudan, and I think if Mudan is special summoned by the effect of a plant, you can add a Rikka spell trap from your deck to your hand. So he's going to add Rikka Tranquility. Then he's going to overlay both of his level 8s into Teardrop, which is a quick effect tribute, which is really interesting and actually pretty good against the Zoodiac deck. Then he's going to set a Infinite Impermanence as well as the Rikka Tranquility and pass his turn over to his opponent. So Rikka Tranquility is interesting as well. So once you activate it, you can tribute a plant monster as well. So you get a special summon a Rikka monster from a grave, and then if you tributed the plant monster, since it is optional, you can special summon another plant from your grave. So it's basically a double monster reborn, but you'd have to tribute a plant for it. Well, you don't have to, obviously, but you can. Anyways, some plays have been made over here, but he's as tanky, I believe, to add the Thoroughblade. It was either Thoroughblade or Ram, I think. I'm not too sure. Then he's going to use this Thoroughblade to go ahead and get rid of the Ram out of his hand and draw a card. And then Teardrop is going to be chained to that to go ahead and kill the Thoroughblade, or tribute it rather. And then he's going to activate the Monster Board, which is a really good extender here, since he can bring back this Thoroughblade, and Thoroughblade is not once per turn, so he's going to activate the effect yet again, discarding the second Thoroughblade in his hand, and drawing into a Pot of Avarice, which is actually not a bad top deck. Well, I mean, he has 2 in this case, so it's actually just okay. Then he's going to go ahead and overlay into a Hammer Conch, then a Chakanine, and then use the Chakanine to bring back the Ram. Then he's going to overlay into a Drydet and use the Drydet to go ahead and attempt to clear over this Teardrop, but it's going to get hit with an Impermanence, unfortunately. So that's a little unfortunate there. He's going to set this Cosmic Cyclone as well as a Avarice in his hand, and he's just going to pass his turn. So drawing into his turn, he just goes into battle phase and uses the Teardrop to attempt to kill the Trident. And I believe that Hellborn is activated here, which when an opponent activates a monster effect that targets a monster you control while you control a Rikka monster in your hand, while this card is in your hand, obviously, you contribute it from your hand or face-up field and negate the effect. So it just negates it, it doesn't destroy. Unfortunately, that's like kind of like okay, but then so the Trident has no materials. Then he's going to go ahead and attempt to use Whiptail to attach to the Trident, and so it's still gonna he'll take, you know, I think 1500 damage here, but at least the Teardrop will get banished. But he's gonna go ahead and chain the Teardrop to banish or tribute over the Trident, so it's going to go ahead and kill it that way. Then he could redeclare his attack over Ram, but he opts to not to because obviously he could just bring back a Zoo from the grave anyways, so it just floats. It doesn't matter that he, you know, if he does that. So then Rikka Tranquility is going to get activated here, tributing the Teardrop, special summoning a copy of Lonefire Blossom as well as a copy of Snowdrop from the graveyard. I think that if he would have maybe gone for Mudan, oh wait, no, it's not tributed by the effect of a plant, or summoned by the effect of a plant, so he won't get the search if he used Mudan. But Mardell is going to be coming down here, which will go ahead and add a generator card or plant monster from your deck to your hand, which is pretty cool. Then you can go ahead and normal summon this Rose Girl, or is it if one's sent to your grave? Oh yeah, so the plant monster was sent to the grave because of Lonefire Blossom, so I believe it does fulfill the requirement for Rose Girl, so that's how he's going to special summon it. Then he's going to normal summon the Rikka Petal, and you can take a Rikka monster from your deck and send it to the grave or add it to your hand, and you can only summon plants for the rest of the turn. So he's going to add an Erica. So Erica is essentially an Acts of Despair. That was a good way that they put it in the voice chat. It's essentially an Acts of Despair on attack declaration. So, I mean, it's okay. It's not that great, but it is what it is, I guess. Then he's going to be going ahead and using, I believe, the Snowdrop to make everything level 8. So he's going to overlay into an Alcee, which can declare a card name and then add it to excavate the top card of your deck, and if it is that one, you add it to your hand. Then if a card is sent from your deck to the graveyard by a card effect, you can detach material and then target a card on the field and place it on the bottom or the top of deck, your choice. So he can choose this Ram, and then he's going to go put it on the bottom, obviously, bottom of the deck, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Then he's going to overlay the Snowdrop and the Petal because they're both level 8 because of Snowdrop's effect, and make a second copy of Teardrop. So essentially he has another interruption, and then on the next turn he can use Alcee, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, to spin a card to the bottom of the deck. So I think this is actually pretty cool. He's got quite a bit of interesting interruption here, but a Pot of Avarice is going to be activated here, which he can go ahead and put everything except for the Thoroughblade, I believe, on the into the deck, and then shuffle it, draw 2 cards. I think I probably personally would have kept the Whiptail because I think it does like have a little bit more utility here, but unfortunately he doesn't draw Zeus, so I don't think it matters in either case. Pankratops is going to be coming down here, and then he goes ahead. Okay, so he wanted to read Erica, that's why that was summoned to the field. And then an Impermanence is set to the field, and he just opts to go into the end phase. And I think the reason why he wanted to read Erica is because it does it for any plant monster. So if he would have just attacked into Alcee, then he would have used the Erica to just kill it. So yeah. Then in the end phase, the Teardrop is going to be activated to attempt to tribute the Pankratops, and since it doesn't tribute his cost, then Pankratops can tribute itself for cost, targeting the Teardrop to destroy it. So that was a roundabout way to say that, but that's what happened. And I'm unfamiliar with this. It looks like during the opponent's end phase, while this card is in your graveyard, while you control no monsters or only plants, you can summon this card, special summon it. So Rikka Petal is pretty cool, just being able to bring itself back. Then he can go ahead and once per turn search, but obviously that's going to get hit with an Impermanence. And then he's going to be going ahead and using Alcee to go ahead and detach. It doesn't detach for cost, so that's what he was checking here. So he's going to be milling a Primula and then using the effect to go ahead and shuffle the back row, which was just a Cosmic Cyclone. And then at this point, he can add back the, let's see. If a plant monster on the field and this card is in your grave, you can add this card to your hand. And I think you just normal summoned it here. And is going to attack for the 3,100 points. And then going ahead and going into main phase 2, he can use this Jasmine to tribute the Rikka Petal. And go ahead and special summon Mudan from the deck. So with Mudan, he can tribute a plant monster and search for something, I think. But on summon, it searches for Rikka's Spell Trap, which is what he searches for. He searches for Glamour. And then he tributes, I believe, Jasmine here. Or maybe he doesn't. No, he doesn't tribute, actually. He doesn't tribute. He just opts to only add. And then the Snowdrop is going to be activated here to tribute the Mudan, which will special summon the Snowdrop, as well as another fairy from the hand, which is a copy of Erika. And then he can go ahead and make them both level 8 and overlay into the third copy of a Teardrop. Going into the end phase, he passes his turn. Zoodiac Wrap here is normal summoned here, which unfortunately I believe is just going to be effect veilered. And then he's going to be overlaying into a Hammer Kong. And then using the Teardrop is going to be used to just tribute the Hammer Kong, which I think he could have used less interruptions just by tributing the Hammer Kong. Like, I don't think the Wrap here did anything if it would have sent anything to grave. But that would have just been me personally. I think I probably would have saved the effect veiler for like a Dryden or something more important, but that would have been just me. Also, I think with this LCI, the rank 8 that like mills and then sends one to the top or bottom of the deck, I think he kept saying Lone Fire Blossom, which I think was an odd choice because all of his Lone Fire Blossoms were already in the graveyard. So I think he could have said something like, he could have said like Impermanence or something, just trying to get a better card to his hand, or even just like, you know, one of the Rikka cards. I think that, you know, saying a name that was already in the graveyard was kind of redundant since it like wouldn't have added anything. But I mean, I guess the reason that he said Lone Fire Blossom was because then it'll send a card to the grave and then he can shuffle something. So obviously, if you say Lone Fire Blossom, I think that's probably why he did it. I think I'm just overanalyzing it a little too much. But anyways, Tenki is going to be activated, and then Thoroughblade is going to be discarding the Whiptail, drawing into a second copy of Thoroughblade. Man, that's crazy. He's activated Thoroughblade twice, or I think like 3 times this game, but 2 of those times he's drawn into Thoroughblade off of Thoroughblade, which is kind of funny. Going into Chakanine, he can go ahead and use Chakanine to detach and special summon the Hammer Kong back, then overlay it into a Tiger Mortar, and it's going to get hit with a Nibiru. Unfortunately, this token's at 0. He could have opted, it looks like he's opting to put it in attack mode, which is exactly what he should have done. Yeah, I think this Nibiru was just ridiculous. There was really, man, it's pretty crazy. But he's going to go ahead and draw 2 cards from the Avarice, and in the end phase, just going to pass his turn. So drawing into his turn, he can go ahead and normal summon this Lone Fire Blossom, which is going to get hit with an effect veiler. And then he's going to go ahead and use Snowdrop to go ahead and summon itself, as well as another copy of Lone Fire Blossom from the hand. Yet again, that's pretty rough. I think he could have definitely maybe... Oh, wait, maybe you can't hit something. I don't think there's a really good way for this Ghost Mourner to hit the field right here. But then he's going to be using the effect of Lone Fire Blossom to tribute itself to special summon a Lone Fire, which I think this definitely should have been hit by a Lone Fire. Although he could have just turned it into a level 8 with Snowdrop, so I'm not too sure. But he's going to be going into Rikka Petal, which is going to... he's going to actually go ahead and use Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill on it, which is really interesting because I think he could have targeted something better because this one does damage to the opponent, but obviously it has 0 attack, so it won't be doing damage. I'm not sure if it really matters, but then he's going to be using Impermanence on the Snowdrop, and then he's going to be linking off the Snowdrop as well as the Rikka Petal into a copy of Jasmine, which Jasmine can contribute a monster it points to. It doesn't have to be a plant monster, which is really interesting. And he can also use the Rose Girl to special summon itself to the field, and he's going to be using the Jasmine to tribute over the Rose Girl and special summon Mardell to the field. Mardell's going to be adding Mudan to the hand, and then he can go ahead and go into battle phase, attack with 3,000 over this 0 attack token, hitting for 3,000, then 18 with Jasmine, 24 with Mardell, and unfortunately on the attack declaration of Mardell, he's going to be going ahead and activating Rikka to do the remaining 800 points of damage. I guess it's 1,000 points of damage, but yeah, this Nibiru was definitely extremely insane. And also he played through 3 interruptions and still killed his opponent, so I think that was really cool. But definitely this Nibiru does not deserve to be in this format. I am going to be banning this card because every time this card has been played, it pretty much ends the game within that turn or the next turn, or the turn after. Like, you know, it ends it in pretty much 2 turns. So I think that is really not fair. So yeah, I'm going to be banning this. Spoilers for the upcoming 3rd ban list. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. I thought this was a really cool match, and it showcased a really cool deck, as well as, you know, a more popular choice for this tournament. So I felt like it was something really cool that I would showcase. So with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.